Brodes Media.
It's always something. It's always something. Hey, listen. Thank you guys all so much for clicking on this podcast here. You guys are the greatest in the world. I love you more than you could ever imagine. And I just want to say thank you for all your crazy support. If you are new to the channel, you can hit the lovely subscribe button to join the Brodes Media family. That will mean the absolute world. You can hit the thumbs up button as well. And if you are interested in taking these podcasts on your Bluetooth car rides, right? Or maybe you don't have Bluetooth and it's a good old-fashioned plug-in. That's cool too. You can search Sports Talk with Brodes or Brodes Media on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and if you leave a 5-star rating and a review over on those platforms, when I tell you it helps out the algorithm so much, it really does. So thank you so much for that. And lastly here, we all sports bet, right? There's nothing better than putting on a bunch of bets Sunday afternoon and seeing how much money you win by the end of it. Well, what if I told you I can give you the opportunity to see all the beautiful and fantastic sign-up bonuses that are available for you with these online sports books that are available for you today? All you have to do is go to bookies.com/Brodes. The information is down below in the description. If you sign up with that code to these sports books to get the sign-up bonus that they are essentially handing you, a nice little free how do you do, you have to take advantage of it. You'd be a fool not to. If you sign up there, it helps out my relationship with bookies a ton, and more importantly, it helps out you when you get the chance to take some money and throw it on your favorite teams. Make sure you check it out. Thank you all so much. I'll shut up now, and you can all enjoy the show. Yo, what's up, everyone? So, another day, another day, another day. It is day 2 of the Eagles saga. Day 1 was more along the lines of, wow, I can't believe Brandon Graham aired out all of the issues that are supposed to be kept in-house. I can't believe he went to the radio to tell the entire Philadelphia fan base, and then it obviously spread very, very quickly to national media as well. We're talking millions and millions and millions of views on social. You're talking every time you see ESPN, Fox Sports 1, or any other platform, Pat McAfee show, here's the clip, Brandon Graham letting everybody see behind the curtain. And obviously, there was a lot to dissect. It was a lot of information. It was a lot of different emotions. There was confusion. There was frustration. And I'm talking about, for myself, me consuming the product. I couldn't believe we were going down this path again. I'm mad. I'm upset. So much. But day 1, it was less about what he was actually saying and more about the fact that he actually said something that heavy. Now, it's more about what he said. And I don't know if anybody else followed my same timeline, but that's how it worked for me. So what I am about to do is we are going to listen to the 57 seconds again of Brandon Graham, and then I want to go over how damning this is. If true. It's all alleged, right? But let me tell you, Brandon Graham is a very, 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 very smart man. He's been around this town for a long time. He knows what it's like if things get out of hand with the media. He knew what he was about to say into that microphone way before that show began. There was a purpose. There was an agenda. He took this to the media with the intention of making it very public. You only do that if it's so bad behind the scenes that this is your last crack at it. I don't want to hear that Brandon Graham doesn't actually know what's going on and he referenced that in his take. Come on. Brandon Graham is probably maybe Lane Johnson, but outside of him and Lane Johnson, they're the most important pieces to the culture of the Philadelphia Eagles. I promise you, he knows what's going on, And this is the same as when a team has a closed-door team-only meeting and it's your last rallying cry to try and save a season. Most of the times, it doesn't work when that's the case. When you have to shut everybody out, start screaming at one another, throwing chairs, and airing out all the issues in a closed-door players-only meeting, more times than not, you sort of know where this is all going, but it's your last-ditch effort to see if there's something you could maybe potentially squeeze out of it. That was Brandon Graham's philosophy. That's how I'm reading this. Because once again, BG has been through it all. Think about where this franchise was when he first became a draft pick and where he is now. He's seen it all. There was a purpose. And I don't think he, quote, made a mistake. I think he knew exactly what the intention was. And he felt it was necessary, or else he would have never done it. That's my read on it. But now let's get into the actual thick of it. Here's Brandon Graham once again on the Brandon Graham Show Monday night following the win. Remember, it was a win against the Carolina Panthers, but this is what Brandon Graham had to say about the wide receiver one and the quarterback one.
The person that's complaining need to be accountable. And I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he know this. He, you know, I don't know the whole story, but I know that one is trying. And I mean, 11 could be a little better with how he respond to things. And they was friends before this. It's like, man, but things have changed. And I understand that because life happens. But we it's the business side that we have to make sure that we don't let the personal get in the way of the business. And that's what we got to do better as right now, because we know it's an issue. Everybody's seeing some things, but we need to be able to talk things out as men. You know what I'm saying? But we need to let personal stuff go and let's get right for this game, because, man, it's like a lot of stuff, most of the time, it's just a conversation that just need to be had. But the person with the problem got to want to talk to the person other than others. That's
still crazy. Still absolutely crazy that this happened. This is one for the ages. I mean, one for the ages. For real. I have 3 quotes in particular that I think is truly damning. And let me be very clear. There's nothing more I want than for this to not be as serious as Brandon Graham is making it seem to be. But Brandon Graham is as knowledgeable as they come about what this town is like. This wasn't by accident. It wasn't by accident. And to say he doesn't know the full story, he knows enough of the story to take it to this step. So I want them to go out on Sunday in a game against Pittsburgh and kick their ass, and the passing game look decent, and to see A.J. Brown happy, and to watch him smile with Jalen, and for them to celebrate and do their thing. That's what I am really, really praying for, because this game on Sunday is as big as what we saw last season against San Francisco when the 49ers came to town. Because that was the turning point of the season that let this seriously slip out of her hands. And we are essentially staring right at a very similar task. So there's a lot on Nick Sirianni's plate right now as Mr. CEO, which to me, the description is to handle and manage these personalities. Here's the 3 quotes. They were friends before this, but things changed. We know about their bond. We know about their friendship. They were friends before this, but things changed. It's actually maybe even worse that they were so close and then now there's so much turmoil. Some look at that as a positive. You can get through this. If they have that special bond, then they can work through these issues. And I would like to think you're right, but sometimes because the emotions are so strong, this is where it could get uglier. whatever is happening, it gets so intense because there was so much love, because there was so much care, because there was such a deep connection, that the fact that it gets fractured, it's such a draining level of emotions that it makes it more difficult to actually get over the hump. You would think that there's no way football would come between people that are this close to the point where, it's breaking an entire locker room, even with missed throws. Could Jalen Hurts be so petty that we are screaming, how do you not see the field? But in reality, Jalen sees the field and his agenda is just, I'm not getting him the football, and that's how bad the relationship is. Now, that's an extreme. Do I really think that the competitor Jalen is, that he just feels I'm not even going in his way, even though I know he's open? I doubt that. Now, I don't know how he doesn't see AJ, considering he's the number one option on all your reads, and he's open. But I have to at least throw that out into the ether, because what if that's the case? Then we got a serious issue with Jalen. It's like, dude, you're that petty? It's wild. The friendship thing. I'm not speculating about what couldn't be if it wasn't football. I'm not going down that road. That's not for me to do. But what I want you to hear is what their friendship was like the moment we found out that A.J. Brown and Jalen were going to be teammates. Listen to their reaction on FaceTime when they were seeing each other going, yo, can you believe it? This was the extreme opposite of where we are right now when they were pumped up.
What's happening, man?
Hey, let's do it, man. Hey.
Boy.
Hey, let's do it, man.
Say no more.
Think about that. Think about that. Now let that sink in, where they once were and where we are now. Take a listen again. 12 seconds.
What's happening, man?
Hey, let's do it, man. Hey.
Boy.
Hey, let's do it, man.
Say no more.
Come on, man. We've all had that time with the boys, and you got your one or two best friends, and you have that stupid laugh where it's so contagious you just can't stop laughing, and, it just goes overboard. That's what that sounded like to me on that FaceTime, and now we're wondering if they can even communicate with one another. BG's making it seem like Jalen's trying, but A.J. Brown isn't holding himself accountable, and he's not being respectful, and he's not being responsible, and I don't know how it gets there over football targets. There should be frustration. There should be people bothered. There should be people annoyed that they're not moving the football as well as they need to in the passing game. But to the point where maybe now you despise each other? Something may have happened that we can't even fathom outside of the sport and outside of the locker room, because that's the only thing that I feel could ever break a duo that had such a strong friendship. And they always do say that it's always difficult. They say this more in college. Think about when you were back in college, right? Let's say you were going to college with your best friend. People say you never want to be roommates with your best friend at college, maybe being around each other too much. It gets a little sticky. You get under each other's skin. You get on each other's nerves more because you know what makes you tick and whatever. Is that mentality maybe a way to correlate what we're seeing between these two on the football field? I don't know. So that's number one. Number two, we can't let the personal side get in the way of the business. See, the reaction the night of on social media was, no, BG just accidentally misspoke, as if you're living in Brandon Graham's head. No, BG meant to say you can't let the business get in the way of the personal. No. It's so broken that it is impacting the business side, the football side, the trying to win a championship side. BG sees that, and he believed that this was the best way to try and help because it's that bad. That's what I'm getting. And I want to be clear, there's nothing more I want than to be so off base here. But until I see how they respond to this story, then I don't have anything to go off of yet. As I sit here today, yes, I'm panicking. Yes, I'm worried. Yeah, I think it's pretty damn bad. We know it's an issue. Everybody has seen some things. I mean, how much more damning can it get than that? Now the other 50 plus men have been around these issues where they've all seen something. How toxic is this? Obviously, very fucking toxic. Think about where we are right now. What BG did was jaw-dropping. I heard Ike. I heard Spike. Spike was there on WIP at the time. I heard him Tuesday during the afternoon show. When you hear BG for the first time actually talk that into the world, your brain triggers, oh no, this is going somewhere. Oh wow. Hold on, he's still talking. It puts you in a pause. Everywhere I looked, Ryan Clark of ESPN, Colin Cowherd, everywhere. Locker room drama in Philadelphia. This was mind-numbing. How big of a bombshell that was from Brandon Graham. If this was little, if this was minor, if this was something that wasn't so serious, do you really think BG would have taken it to the extreme? You know what I think it is? Truly. I think he feels very comfortable with his Eagles family, with the Eagles fan base, with the WIP family. And I think his agenda was, I'm talking to the masses here. Without the idea of this is going to take over the sports world. This is one of the number one topics in the sports world across all platforms, all major sports. He probably felt comfortable talking to us, the city, the fans. He was at Chicky and Pete's at the time. People are there. They got their BG jerseys. He's talking to the fellas. And before you know it, it's steamrolled. Or he just knew how much attention it would get, and he felt it was necessary to have that many eyes on it because you got to fix it. You're not going to talk to each other alone? You're not going to talk to each other and figure this thing out? Even with the mediator involved, they're going to need a third party. I don't think those two can sit down, have a nice cold beer, have a nice steak dinner, and just get on the same page. This is something that probably calls for somebody else to say, okay, Jalen, how do you feel? Okay, AJ, how does that make you feel? What is your response to that? That's how deep this is. And BG poured it out there, almost says, whoops. Now you got nothing else to do other than fix it. But let me tell you, if it has to take you that, woof. Woof. Wait until you hear from Jordan Mailata. Before I play Jordan Mailata audio, there is something I need to tell you about. And that is, of course, my friends over at Garage Beer. It's the best light beer in the world. I'm going to say that again so it resonates here. It is the best light beer in the entire world. It is 1,000% quality, 0% IPA. It's the best light beer to touch your lips. DrinkGarageBeer.com. There's no better beer out there. Okay, so here was Jordan Mailata on Ike, Spike, and Fritz on the afternoon show on WIP Tuesday afternoon.
As an important player on the team, what you have thought about all of this as you've heard it all evolve.
I don't even know where to begin. I just think, when it comes to their relationship, it's nobody's business. To put it quite frankly, it's nobody's business, whatever their relationship status is.
How does that make you feel? There was a deep, deep, deep sigh. And then the first thought was, it doesn't matter what their relationship status is to anybody else. It's none of your business. If things were good, well, he's not wrong. If things were good, you know what the answer is? There's no big, deep sigh. It's, guys, listen. This thing has definitely caught fire, no doubt about it. I've been around AJ and Jalen for a long time. AJ wants the football. Jalen's, a great leader. We love him here. Listen, I'm not a pro athlete. I'm kind of getting into a little bit of a pickle here myself. But, look, let me restart it. Boop, that never happened. Hey, listen. I've been around AJ and Jalen Hurts for a long time. I love them both. They're very close friends. They are essentially family. We're all family. We love one another. We got a damn good thing rolling in this locker room right now. We're on a 9-game winning streak with Pittsburgh coming to town for a chance to win 10 games in a row. They're going to do everything in their power to put us in a great position to succeed on Sunday. I'm looking forward to it. They're competitors. We're all competitors. We love one another, and I can't wait to go to work. Boom. Boom. Instead, it's none of your business. Ooh, all right. Little defensive there. Maybe there was defense being played because behind the scenes, they know how rough it is. And it could get to the point where those two just don't work. You could have all the leadership you think in the locker room. Jason Kelsey was here last year. So was Fletcher Cox. So was BG. But something happened. T.O. and Donovan McNabb, who is now taking it a step further in their own beef. But Andy Reid couldn't get them together. Sometimes it just doesn't mix. And I wouldn't expect it to be these two that don't mix when it's all said and done, just knowing previously how they would operate. But when you spend this much time with one another and you're not passing the football, and when you have limited chances, you can't even execute those said limited chances. Here we go. But I thought hearing Jordan Mailata's tone was super telling to me on it all. Sucks that we're here. It really does. And now I'm starting to wonder, as much as I didn't really personally have an issue with AJ saying passing when asked what needs to improve with the offense, if him and Jalen already felt a certain type of way about one another and he knew that that was somewhat poking the bear, because I'm taking it for face value. They're strictly talking football. They're strictly upset about the X's and the O's and, being open, not getting the ball, all that stuff. But if it's a deeper level and he's somewhat subtweeting or making a statement and Jalen knows, like, dude, I know what you're doing here. Fuck off. That type of mentality. Then it was very methodical and then makes sense on why this is the reaction to it. So maybe A.J. Brown, with that one-word answer, was way more intense than I was led on to believe just from the base surface. And it's hard for me to think anything other than that, knowing where we stand just 2 days after. It's got to be so hard to be in the NovaCare complex today, no? In what world can they all sit down in a big team meeting and focus on the Pittsburgh Steelers? I mean, this has to be on everybody's mind, whispering down the lane. Everyone's talking about for 4, 5, 6, 7 hours when they're at the facility. It's no longer focusing on what you need to focus on, and you could try all you want, and maybe Nick Sirianni has a key strength that allows for him to have everybody locked in and focused, and he's going to earn his damn paycheck this week, that's for sure. But you know what? As much as he's the head coach and he's going to be a big emphasis on if they can keep this thing on path or not, I think it even goes deeper than a head coach in football. If we're talking about a special relationship that they had that could be this problematic, I think this goes deeper than a head coach. It's not always that way, but in this instance, it is. With that said, though, you get paid to be in this position. And unfortunately, some of your team put you in a very shitty spot, and now you have to be the mediator and somehow fix something that might be impossible to fix. And while you think about number 11 and number 1, you also have to think about everybody else and keeping them in check. It's a damn rough spot. And it doesn't help that a very similar time to where we stand today, we saw it all slip away a year ago. We're talking very similar spots in the season. What are the odds? And while the winning feels better this year than last year's winning, this feels uglier. And I don't know if I'm just living in the moment and it's more of recency bias than anything else. But this is as aggressive as it can get between two teammates. And in what world are they going to be able to shut the outside noise out and just start worrying about what Mike Tomlin is going to do? I'm sure it's hard now. I don't know by Friday if things change. Saturday, things change. But in regards to Tuesday, Wednesday, you know, I mean, Landon Dickerson's a part of the Players Lounge, and I'm sure group chats are flying off, the phone's in the pocket, and it's buzzing 1,000 times because everyone's going, dude, what just happened? I have no idea. Why did he say that? I have no clue. What in the world? Some may have been prepared. I wouldn't be shocked if BG said, hey, just to let you know, yo, Lane, be on high alert. Hey, be ready for 6 o'clock because I'm coming swinging. He wasn't set up. There wasn't any sort of gotcha question. This was predetermined. This was, I am going to make this known, no ifs, ands, or buts. So I wouldn't be shocked if some had a whisper in their ear knowing that this was coming. But for everybody else who didn't, I'd imagine that those phones were going all through the night. 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I can't believe it. That's how much this is ruffling the feathers, if you will. All across the board. Sirianni, Howie, Laurie, they probably stayed up all night. I mean, think about what we're talking about here. I'm not saying it's the same as T.O. in his driveway, because it's not T.O. in his driveway. But this is one of those moments where it's, do you remember when? Because this isn't normal. I actually saw Dan Orlovsky's live reaction because he was a guest on Pat McAfee's show, and Pat ended up playing the full audio clip that I just gave you guys to start this show, and it cut back to both of them talking, and the face of Orlovsky with his eyes wide open, his mouth wide open, he couldn't even comprehend. He goes, whoa, I didn't hear that clip yet. You don't see this. And now the response is A.J. Brown with a Joker picture as his social media new picture. Playing the villain? I don't know. Oh, wow. How big is Sunday, though? One of the biggest. It adds an element of intrigue that definitely wasn't there before, but I don't want this intrigue. I don't. I prefer winning ugly against Carolina, hating how they won Monday, Tuesday, and then by Wednesday you flip the page and then you figure it out. I mean, that was my stance, was, hey, I'm not happy now, but I know by Wednesday or Thursday I'll look at the 9-game win streak as a total and be happy and ready to punch the Steelers in the face. Now, everything is going to be so picked apart. I mean, I heard callers bring up that they're season ticket holders and they saw AJ help warm up Jalen Hurts early in the game. Then by the late stages of the game, it was Alcantara who was helping him warm up. No longer AJ. Now, I don't know if that's standard. I don't know if Jalen uses different people throughout a game. I don't know if it's AJ every single time. I got no clue how it normally goes. But then, same person goes, yeah, and then with TV timeout, AJ's 15 feet away from everybody who's huddled up, and they're waiting for the TV timeout to end, and they're coming back from break, and AJ wants nothing to do with the rest of the group. And it's like, dude, I'm just basing it off of their word, and not that their word is gospel, and I can't tell you exactly if what they saw is true, if what they saw is correlated to this. I got nothing for you. But knowing all the drama that's circulating and all the context clues, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. And if that's the case and this is what is happening, holy shit. Holy shit. This is crazy. You think this is what I want to be talking about? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What are you going to do with Mike Tomlin and the defense of Pittsburgh, and how can you counter, and what can you do to try and get some more explosive plays going in the passing game? And Jake Elliott, and not that I like where Jake Elliott's at currently, but I'm trying to figure out football-wise, what can they do to win a football game on Sunday? And now it's, oh, please don't be completely broken in 1,000 different pieces. This sucks. This sucks. All right, everybody, listen, that's going to do it for day 2 of the saga here in town. We'll see where this takes us. Thank you all so much for kicking it with me here. I appreciate it. You guys are the best in the world. Thank you, and I will catch you all on the next one.